Welcome back to a daily dose of good news. Jesus is alive, or so we've been told. The tomb is empty for sure. Grave clothes lying unwrapped. But Jesus himself is nowhere to be seen. How would you respond if you were one of the disciples? Jesus, the one you had seen as being the Christ, the Messiah, the one promised by your holy scriptures to restore God's kingdom. You saw him die. Could he really have come back from the dead? Now that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them, but they were kept from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing together as you walk along?" They stood still, their faces downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, asked him, "Are you only a visitor to Jerusalem, and do not know the things that have happened there in these days?" "What things?" he asked. "About Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. "He was a prophet, powerful in word and deed before God and all the people. The chief priests and our rulers handed him over to be sentenced to death, and they crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one who was going to redeem Israel. And what is more, it is the 3rd day since all this took place. In addition, some of our women amazed us. They went to the tomb early this morning but didn't find his body. They came and told us that they had seen a vision of angels who said he was alive. Then some of our companions went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but him they did not see." He said to them, "How foolish you are, and how slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Did not the Christ have to suffer these things and then enter his glory?" And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself. As they approached the village to which they were going, Jesus acted as if he were going further. But they urged him strongly, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening, the day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Then their eyes were opened and they recognized him, and he disappeared from their sight. They asked each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us?" They got up and returned at once to Jerusalem. There they found the 11 and those with them assembled together and saying, "It is true, the Lord has risen and has appeared to Simon." Then the two told what had happened on the way and how Jesus was recognized by them when he broke the bread. There he is, in the flesh. No doubts now, Jesus is alive. For the Jews, Moses and the prophets, their holy scriptures, were the definitive handbook of God's dealings with and promises to their people. They were sacred, they were truth. It is fascinating how Jesus, at his first point of call pretty much, then takes their scriptures and, rather than ignoring them, explains how they speak of his death and resurrection. What you had was good and right. You just hadn't understood it properly. Like magic eye pictures where you can miss what is there if you don't know how to look at the picture. Jesus shows them how to read their scriptures, and it comes alive as they see the predictions of his death and resurrection. This was God's plan all along. And Jesus has been perfectly obedient to it. He was dead, and now he is alive. See you tomorrow.